Hey, Mr. Internet, I've seen you swing but never hit. Your algorithm's drifting out of sync. For all the shit you recommend, the grifts and ads that never end, I have to give you credit for one thing. Serendipity, bop, stopping all my problems, sitting on top from a song that fits just right. Serendipity, bop, stopping all my problems, lottery odds on a flawless lucky find.
Welcome, ladies, gents, friends, betwixt and beyond the gender binary. This is Jam Mechanics. I am your co-host, Matt Johnson of the Narcissist Cookbook, and my other co-host is...
Bug from Bug Hunter. One of my favorite things about starting a Jam Mechanics is Zoom does a thing where if there's a sound that's like obviously like way too loud, it'll just mute it. So I never actually know what your intro hey sounds like until I go back to edit it, because it's just you wind up and then you go silent for about 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden I can hear you again.
You think they would have some sort of high energy podcast mode where they're just like, we will allow random screams and air horns?
My name's Bug from Bug Hunter.
And my name's Matt Johnson from the Narcissist Cookbook.
And this podcast is called Jam Mechanics. What we do here is we are going to be challenged to write songs. We're both professional songwriters. We're going to go away for 3 hours based off of prompts that we don't know about yet, and we're going to go write songs, come back, show off the demos, talk about what worked, what didn't, what we liked, what we didn't, what we want to do.
That is what we do, and we're surprisingly good at it. It surprises me every single week, and by every week I of course mean every 2 weeks.
I was on vacation. This is the first episode we've recorded in a couple of weeks. Got any bits?
Got any bits?
What have you been up to?
Well, it's funny that you ask, because I've actually been making a little folder on my phone of bits to tell, because I always forget all my funny bits.
Yeah.
And not here on Jam Mechanics, but on stage.
Yeah.
Because I like having a funny bit. When after the Columbus bookstore was such a hit bit.
Oh, are we?
No.
So, yeah, that was what I was going to ask, is if you've never told the Columbus bookstore story on Jam Mechanics.
I'm not going to no, because everyone, you know what? Maybe, no. I will tell the Columbus bookstore story. Have we never told the Columbus bookstore story?
We've never told it on Jam Mechanics.
Okay, you know what? Let's put it to bed forever.
Okay.
So once upon a time, I'm staying in Columbus. Columbus is my new home for 5 days.
That was the city you chose. We were like, hey, Matt, you have a few options of where you want to spend our break. And you were like, I'm thinking Ohio. I'm thinking Ohio. Yeah.
It was fucking great. There was also, I was recognized in Ohio. I discovered a secret pizza place that's just around the corner from me that is like a sports bar hidden inside what looks like a place where gang members would go to execute each other. It's fantastic. But there's a bookstore there as well. A bookstore that I'm very excited about, because when you go into this bookstore, you are given a map. It is that big. There is an east wing and a west wing and an upper east wing and an upper west wing, and there are dozens of rooms in this bookstore which all cover different genres, and all of the corridors as well are lined with books. Beautiful. I've been in this bookstore for like 2 hours, and it's getting to the end of my time there. I've gone all the way up and around. And I'm in my final little wing, and I'm in like the kids section, the young adult section, and I see this door labeled restroom on it, and it has like a wizard on it, and it has a dragon on it. And the thing about this bookstore is that they are so neurodivergent friendly. And the way I know what the word restroom is. I've been to a restroom. Audience, if you go away being like, Matt's never been to a restroom, you'll be wrong. But I interpret this as just a room that you would go to for having a little rest,
rest.
My partner works with people who often need to go into like low stimulus rooms, and I'm like, that sounds like exactly the kind of room you would have in a big bookshop like this. And I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I want a little rest so bad. So I try the door, and the door is locked, and I'm like, oh man. And there's a little sign on the door that says, if you need the key to the restroom, go to the front desk. And I'm so torn, because I am sleepy. I'm really sleepy. And I would love to just go into a little room, but like I can't go and ask for the key. I'm not sure. So I put my ear to the door just to get a sense of what's going on in there. And I hear water running, and I'm like, oh my God, they've got a little water feature in there. like I can picture it so clearly in my head. It is like low strobing lights, like a little waterfall, and then suddenly, like my brain finally kicks in and goes, "Danger, danger, Matt! It's a bathroom. It's a child's bathroom." It's a child's bathroom. You are on your own, a grown male, outside a child's bathroom, pressing your ear to the door, going, "Oh, what's going on in there?" And so I very quickly left the shop. And so if you ever find yourself in the bookstore, the big bookstore in Columbus, Ohio, go and take a little rest and think of me.
That's one of my favorite stories ever. I love that so much.
What about you? Do you got any bits?
I don't have any bits.
You know what? Let me share the question that I have, the icebreaker question. Maybe that sets you up. Okay.
Sure.
This is a question from Corbin, aka a punk rock, on Discord. The question is, what is your most memorable concert experience? Could be one of your own.
The thing that comes to mind immediately for that is, it's not actually the concert, but is the story of my first concert. I didn't go to a concert until I was a freshman in college, and I was a freshman in college living in San Luis Obispo, California. One of my favorite bands called Bayside was going to be playing at the House of Blues in Anaheim. And I was like, I get done with class at 11. I could probably drive down there and make it. On the way down, I'm probably like an hour from Anaheim. I was coming down this lane and I was in the middle lane. The right lane to turn right was backed up all the way. And the car in front of me decided, oops, I want to be in that line actually. And so they very quickly just like changed lanes into that line. So they're in both the right lane and the middle lane diagonally. And I, according to the insurance company, was following too closely. I disagree.
Oh.
And so I smack into them and they smack into the car in front of them. Basically going down to my first concert ever, I totaled my car. I did make the concert. Here's where it gets hairier, because I had to like kind of pull the wheel well back from my tire a little bit. I just kind of like pulled it back so the wheel could spin. It's like, We're all good. We're all good. Like the hood's a little crumpled. It's fine. Cut to the next day. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to drive back up in order to get to my psychology class on time. I'm about 2 hours into the drive. My front hood is crumpled. My bumper's all kind of messed up. And I'm going about 65 on the freeway when the hood of my truck just...
Oh no!
Hits my windshield. And so I'm literally middle lane of the freeway going 65. I cannot see. My hood is completely, it has smashed my windshield. And so I turn on my hazard lights and I just slow down. I just stop using the gas pedal because I'm like, well, as long as no one in front of me is also stopping, I can't hit anything. And I just slowly move over until I'm in the median between like an on-ramp and the freeway. So like I have cars buzzing by me on both sides. And I get out of the car. I'm like, okay. I wrench the hood free of the windshield and I pull it back down. And I'm like, what do? I have no supplies, nothing except... You forget from the beginning of my story, I said I was a college freshman, which means I was still using the welcome lanyard that they give you in the dorm to hold my keys. Like, you know how freshmen have lanyards that they keep their keys on?
This foreshadowing needs some work. Go on.
And so I use my college freshman lanyard to like tie down my hood to like the grill, and I drive like 10 miles an hour to the next gas station where I can buy a bunch of rope, and I just rope. I use 100 feet of rope in order to get the hood tied down to the grill, and then I drive the remaining hour and a half back to my college town. And so that was my first concert experience.
What's one of my memorable concert experiences?
Did you have one?
I have two that pop into my head. I went to see Dashboard Confessional, and that was like I was so obsessed with Dashboard Confessional, and after the show I waited outside for ages, and it was me who was the Dashboard Confessional fan, and then a couple of friends who were not very big Dashboard Confessional fans but wanted to come with me. And as soon as Chris Caraba of Dashboard Confessional comes out the back door, one of them goes, "Hey Chris, Matt wants to fuck you." And I was like, cool, I'm going to go and just climb down a drain.
The funniest part of that is people are going to hear that story we're going to forget you told that story, and someone's going to think, hey, here's an inside joke that we have with the jam mechanics. We're not going to remember it, folks. Don't do it.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that is coming. And I am telling you, here's what will happen. You will make the joke and I'll look so confused. And then you'll be like, huh? And then I'll be like, I don't know what's happening. I can tell you're doing something. And then you're going to have to explain it to me. And by that point, you'll be embarrassed. I'll be embarrassed. Anyway, yeah, welcome to Jam Mechanics. We know each other pretty well now.
We know each other super well.
The only thing that is left to do is for us to get a prompt from Deep Blue Ink and then set each other a bonus prompt.
We're getting Deep Blue Ink, famous animator, creator of Deep Space Discounts, to come on our show and give us a challenge. We were at Deep Blue Ink Sweating in October of last year.
Do we have more stories about Deep Blue
We
Ink
can't
Sweating?
possibly have any more stories about Deep Blue Ink Sweating. Let me think. Oh. We were at Deep Blue Ink Sweating in October, and I was all ready to ask Deep Blue Ink, hey, will you come on our show for season 3 of Jam Mechanics and be our permanent prompter? The thing that most people don't know, and this is true, my dad was in the middle of passing a kidney stone that entire tour.
Yeah.
If you saw us in Europe, my dad was being a tough soldier the entire time. He was dealing with a kidney stone that entire tour, to the point where he would get up on stage and he would do his introduction stuff, and then he would go lie down and cry.
Here's the thing. There's such a thing as being too tough a soldier.
He was too tough a soldier. And the funny thing was, he said, the only thing I want from you is I don't want your sympathy. It's true. He was like, I just don't want you to, don't keep checking on me. Just know that I can do this.
This is a Papa Bug propaganda podcast. Like this episode,
so
this
funny.
podcast exists mainly to have people be like, God, Papa Bug is the coolest member of Bug Hunter.
And so he was originally going to go to Deep Blue Ink Sweating with us. He had been invited, but he ended up just going and getting dinner with Jesse that night because of just complications via kidney stone that he was trying to pass. When he comes to pick us up, we're going to go say goodbye to Deep Blue Ink, and I was like, you know what? Let me go check on my dad and see if he's out in the van. He should come in, just say hi real quick. And I go out to the van. Van's empty. Wait, what? Where's my dad? I go searching around. I do a whole loop. Come to find that my dad was passing a kidney stone in the bathroom at Deep Blue Ink's wedding.
Yeah.
I don't even think Deep Blue Ink knows that lore about his own wedding. For some reason, because of that, Deep Blue Ink said, no, I'm not going to come on your podcast. But you can call me anytime, day or night, and I will give you a prompt to help you. Do we want to give Deep Blue Ink a call?
We do want to give Deep Blue Ink a call. Let's see.
Can you say Deep Blue Ink?
Hey, Deep Blue Ink. Deep Blue Ink is the name I give to the Deep Blue Ink contact machine.
Yeah.
Hey, Deep Blue Ink.
Yes, master.
Contact Deep Blue Ink.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
I love this character. Let's keep developing Deep Blue Ink, the AI assistant that we have.
Okay, Deep Blue Ink. Go ahead. Beep, 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 beep.
Calling.
Hey Bug, hey Matt, this is Jam Mechanics Season 3, right? I'm really busy at the minute. I'm currently commentating on a WWE wrestling match. But anyway, the prompt. I'm thinking something like an opportunity that's not passed yet. An opportunity that's not passed yet. Anyway, I've got to get back to this match. Whoa! Papa Bug with a steel chair!
That is the kind of thing that Papa Bug would do. He would take a steel chair to sit down at a sporting event. An opportunity
That has not yet passed.
Bug.
Also, no. You always go first. I'm not
go.
letting you do it again. We also here on season 3 of Jam Mechanics do a little extra prompt from the two of us. So, Matt, on top of an opportunity that has not yet passed, based off my apparently terrible foreshadowing with my lanyard story, I would like you to, and I'll leave this choose your own adventure. You can either use foreshadowing or bad foreshadowing. I just want to have something in your song needs to either be foreshadowed or foreshadowed poorly.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, here's mine for you. And I know that there is a tone of voice that I use sometimes that automatically puts you into a state of deep anxiety.
I'm already there. Yeah, you just did it.
Bug.
No.
No, it's not that bad. Bug, we're 3 seasons deep.
Are we?
We're 3 seasons deep into this podcast, and yet it is time for us to spread our wings and finally appeal to the podcast core base.
Okay.
I want you to write something about true crime.
True crime.
True crime.
True crime. People love true crime. I have never, ever gotten into true crime anything. Shows, Netflix, podcast. I feel like I'm the only person on earth who's
You've
not.
never gotten into true crime yet. Because
Yeah.
every person I know that says that eventually discovers something.
What was the one on Netflix that was a big deal like 8 years ago?
Making a Murderer.
Maybe.
Tiger King.
No, it wasn't Tiger King. I didn't watch that either. I didn't even get down to Tiger King. I don't even
Yeah,
know
it's
if that's...
Making a Murderer.
Yeah, maybe it was Making a Murder. I'd never even seen that. I maybe seen an episode. So I have nothing to pull on here, but that's fine. I'm just going to make it up. This is why we're pros.
Mine is Opportunity Is Not Yet Past and Foreshadowing.
Mine is an opportunity not yet passed, but also needs to appeal to the true crime demographic.
And we're going to go away for 3 hours. Deboink. Play Darude Sandstorm.
Yes, master.
Yes, mister.
You say Mr. or Master?
Yes, mister. Yes, Mr. Cookbook. Yeah, Deep Blank is good.
Deep Blink is good.
We got one more chance to make this a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deep Blink is something.
I love Deep Blank, but he can only say yes, master, and call Deep Blue Ink. That's all he's capable of doing. This is not our general AI. We are not there. All right, Deep Blank, take off my pants. No, master.
And we are back from the break. Welcome back to Jam Mechanics. It's Bug and Matt. Matt, how was your Jam Mechanics?
My Jam Mechanics was good. I went for some dinner. I went and got a pretzel Easter egg. That was pretty good.
What is that? What does that mean?
I mean, what is confusing for you about that?
The shape of what it was.
It was an Easter egg in the shape of a pretzel.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
What is unsure in your brain? It was an Easter egg in the shape of an egg, but it had bits of pretzel mixed into it.
Into the egg?
Yeah, like into the. You know, right? You know what an Easter egg is?
Yes, but
Right.
like plastic?
What?
The eggs are plastic over here, Matt.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They have a hinge.
No.
Was there pretzels inside of it?
No, we have chocolate eggs over here. Like,
Yeah, we
like
have chocolate eggs, but that's not the default.
No, the default here is like 6 to 8 inches tall, and it is a hollow egg made of chocolate. You get it out the box, you smash it against your car steering wheel, and then
Yeah, like your ancestors.
this one was like a chocolate egg, but it had bits of pretzel mixed in. It was too expensive, and it was too much food. I didn't like it that much. How did you feel about yours?
It came together. It was another one. I feel like in season 3, I'm consistently writing up until the last like 30 minutes, and then I just bust out just like a demo. So that's where I'm at today again, but I'm not going first. You're going first.
Yeah,
that's what we decided.
mine's pretty much one take.
What's it called?
It is called. Have I put it in the chat yet?
Nope.
No. Here it is.
Okay. Can you remind us what the prompt is?
Prompt was an opportunity that is not yet passed.
Okay.
And foreshadowing.
I have a song here called The First of the Ever Kings to Die.
Yeah.
This sounds awesome, just from the title.
Well, you know, I do have a knack for a title, but sometimes the title can be too good.
I got this here. I got the lyrics. I'm going to not look at the lyrics because of the foreshadowing prompt. Or did you go 2 for 2 on the prompts? Or
Yeah, I mean, I might need to show my working, but I don't necessarily think so. But it's not like, you know, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it afterwards.
classic song intro where we're like about to pretend to talk about our song and then we like, let's just listen to it.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Let's just listen to it. This song is called The First of the Ever Kings to Die, and we're going to hit go in 3, 2, 1, go.
I met a man traveling from the north, passing through my part of town. He wore a tattered overcoat, flapping open in the warm north wind, still carrying his service rifle hitched up underneath his arm, though the barrel was rusted and the stock had near completely decomposed. I didn't say a word. No point asking those guys anything. They got enough on their plates already from having nothing on their plates. But I offered him some food I had, going spare or going bad, and he thanked me with a nod, and then he kept on walking south. They're always walking south
4 other Northmen came passing through my part of town, stacks of skin, cast off bones in those coats like rotten pelts. I gave them what I had, but this time one of them stuck around, said the situation up there's worsening faster than the snow can even melt. He asked me what I do down here. I said I was a writer, you know, at the very least I tried to, but he looked away, he didn't care. He sat down right there in my garden, neath the sunflowers in the winter, and he told me what to tell you, and then he kept on walking south. They're always walking south, don't know what they expect to find down there, but they're always walking south. He says it's gonna happen soon, sooner than you think. You'll see the symbols real early, but you won't know what they mean. And the daydreams that you've come to rest your head upon at night are like the permafrost, the first one of the ever-kings to die. But there's time, he says. There are chances easy missed. There are lessons needing learned before the class has chance to sit. And if you really pay attention, really take the whole thing in, you might see where this is heading before the ending begins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go, Matt, go.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I would say this is solid first draft. I had 45 minutes to record this and I just couldn't get the feel right. It feels reminiscent of We're All Enemies Here to me. It's got a sort of a more successful take on a similar vibe, I think.
Okay.
What's your understanding of how I managed the prompts?
Yeah, no, I see it in here. First off, I love this. It's cool. I loved it. It's awesome. I am going to call this Badass Cake.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a long jacket. No, that's fair enough. I'll take that. I think Badass Cake is great.
But yeah, Badass Cake that's the vibe I got. It was like folklore medieval cake. I don't know if that was the vibe you were going for, but there's just a lot of talk about like traveling north to south. It just kind of like it put me in like a different time, like a different era than maybe present.
Yeah.
I don't know if you meant for this to be set present or not, but it didn't strike me as a song that necessarily needed to be set in the present day.
So the original idea for this song was going to be I wanted to do Chekhov's gun. For the audience who don't know what Chekhov's gun is a theatrical trope whereby if there is a gun on stage, at some point it's going to go off. Otherwise, why is that gun even there? And so I was like, wouldn't it be funny to have a Chekhov's gun, which is actually a red herring, and in the first in the line where you drop the gun, you actually drop what is actually foreshadowing, and the gun is absolutely nothing. And I lost faith in that idea real quickly. But the idea of the tattered black overcoat and the gun is that, to me, the tattered black overcoat is more important than the gun, because there's been some war in the north. Something is changing in the climate. It used to be snow, which is why it was a black overcoat to kind of keep as much heat in as possible. I think that's how colors work. You know, in the same way that red makes cars go faster. Like,
And hungry.
But now the snow is all melting. The black overcoat is like flapping open. It's all tattered. Towards the end, you have this. I don't know if there's some timey-wimey bullshit going on in this, but yeah, the idea that there is a big change coming ahead and the signs are already there. You just don't know how to see them and interpret them properly. And maybe you can. I'm really, really happy with that. Really, really happy with just that last verse. But there's time, he says, there are chances easy missed. There are lessons needing learned before the class has chance to sit. And if you really pay attention, really take the whole thing in, you might just see where this is heading before the ending begins. I think I'm pleased with that.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of really good nuggets in here.
I love my nuggets.
You got a lot of good nuggets here. The one I looked at you on, they got enough on their plates from having nothing on their plates. I feel like that line delivered in the wrong way could get an eye roll, but the way that you delivered it was awesome and cool.
Boom.
I feel like the whole song is like just foreshadowing, right? Like how many of these people walking north to south are you going to let pass before you're like, hey, maybe I should... Maybe
there's something going on over.
Maybe it's I need to start going. Maybe
this guy knows something what I do not know.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm happy with this. This is not the take. This is probably not the take or the structure, but there is definitely something here. This is something that I would be like, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to write the first of the Ever Kings to die on my whiteboard, and then in 2 weeks I will forget what the fuck that means, and then in 3 months I will come back and listen to the song and go, okay, there's something here.
You're very good at this. Of like you kind of get into this like structure and you feel like, all right, well, here's like, I understand the cadence, and you do that. He asked me what I did down here. I said I was a writer. At the very least, I tried to, and then you do he looked away. He didn't care. You interrupted yourself in your own song. And it's just so effective at taking your cadence that you were doing and then inserting kind of the point of your song where you interrupted your own cadence, but it also is making the point of like, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm a walking warning, and whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter because I'm going south.
There's something ominous about like something bad is happening where you are not at. There's something deeply ominous to me about like the protagonist in this song is clearly in a place which is extremely comfortable, like is like, oh, I'm a writer, whatever, and the people who are walking from the north is just like, no, not safe here. This is not far enough. So that's really, I like that. I'm pleased with this.
You are very good at doing that thing that is, I don't know, it's pretty unique to you in like your style.
Boy.
I got about 10 seconds in, 15 seconds in. I was like, this could just be a poem that Matt wrote. And then the music just kind of comes in. You're like, Matt's so good at tricking me into thinking that a poem is not a poem and it's a song, actually.
The trick is to every now and again just have a poem. no one knows what's true. All right, let's hear your song.
You want to talk about my song?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I took Deep Blue Ink's prompt. You remember Deep Blue Ink? You remember that guy?
Yeah.
I took his prompt to be pretty meta in what I did, because his was an opportunity that's not yet passed. And I didn't really have any ideas for that because I was so stuck on true crime.
Okay.
My wife had a friend over there baking bread downstairs, and I went down to both of them and I was like, do you guys know true crime? I looked at her. I was like, I know my wife doesn't really watch true crime. Do you know any true crime? She's like, kind of. I was like, you're no help. And so I went for a walk, and I was fixated on this true crime thing because I was like, what am I going to draw from here? Because like, I know what crime is. It's not like I need to go listen to a podcast to like figure it out. So I was really focused on that. And then I took Deep Blue Ink's prompt, and it was the opportunity not yet passed. So it was like, I had all my old notes on my station where I sit and write songs. And I've, in the past couple of months, kind of gone through and just like written down just a bunch of old ideas, just things from like Torn Between a Couple Days to things from old rough draft days, and just trying to collect, like, don't let me forget any of these ideas, because, you know, these songs that I wrote like 7-8 years ago, some of them had like good little nuggets in them. So I came across one note that I had, not even a chorus, just a hook.
Just something,
and I was like, that was a good idea. I had kind of an idea around that I had kind of written and hated it. So I tossed all of it out and I kept the hook.
Oh, this is as meta as it gets.
It's as meta as it gets. I'm literally saying this opportunity has not yet passed.
The fabric of reality is falling apart. Like, yes. This is really...
Yeah. So within the song, I don't really think that's in there, but that's kind of how I was like, well, let me do this. Let me take an old idea, an old opportunity, and marry it with this true crime thing. And so I have taken the original intent I had on this idea in a completely different direction in order to satisfy your prompt, which I'm happy with. I think this is cool. I think this is a cool way of using jam mechanics to like dig up an old hook that I had and totally change it. So I am sending you over a song called
What Happened to John Demo?
No, it's just What Happened to John. It's called What Happened to John.
John Demo is the main character.
His name's not John Demo. Stop.
Demolition John.
Stop calling him John Demo.
Starring Wesley Snipes.
It's the What Happened to John Demo 1. God, you're gonna make me call this guy John Demo, and I'm so mad about it.
John Demo that's a great like early 90s action movie name. All right, we're gonna listen to a little song called John Demo.
Stop it! It's called What Happened to John.
Actually, that was a total accident. that was not on purpose. We're going to listen to a song called What Happened to John. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
It's not productive to compare all our troubles, playing who's got it worse to one up on another. It's half a dozen of one, it's 6 of the other. You don't want to win this game. But the unspoken rules, now the talk of the town. It's the difficult truth no one dare say aloud. We all know who, we all know how, but no one wants to say. 'Cause Marty lost his job last month, oh, and Tom's wife ain't been home too much. We all have troubles, but I'll tell you what, it's a shame what happened to John.
Oh, yeah.
It's a shame what happened to John. Mrs. Carter, well, I haven't seen you out of your apartment in a couple of days. She says my husband is halfway into handcuffs with no more hope of changing his ways. I'm pinching pennies, never spending any, 'cause I'll have to bail him out or bury him soon. But when I go to church, he isn't worth my focus as I bow my head and sit in the pews. I'm praying for another and I'm hoping he'll respond, 'cause it's a shame what happened to John. And Connor's cough keeps getting worse, and Ollie's luck has all reversed. We all have troubles that could be much worse. It's a shame what happened to John. Yeah, it's a shame what happened to John. We don't report it to the papers or go to the police. There's an unacknowledged understanding passing in the streets. The entire city's sick. We've learned to be discreet. That's all that can be done. There were never conversations or plans of how to act. We didn't draft a non-disclosure or attempt to make a pact. There was a problem, we solved it. There's no more going back. The problem's finally gone. And Miley's finally out of bed, and Faith feels safe to walk again. We don't have trouble and we all pretend. It's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame what happened to John.
Yeah, woo!
Yeah, woo!
Wait, woo, 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 woo. I just sent you a message into the Discord.
It is a shame what happened. It is a shame what happened to John Carter, huh?
So this is about John Carter of Mars, yeah?
Yes,
the world's most famous Disney flop.
Yeah, it was such a shame that John Carter Disney movie from 2007 flopped. Big budget Disney movie, John Carter.
Yeah, I really, really like this. It's a shame what happened to John is like, that is a all-time hook. Like you can hang an entire song on that hook, you know?
Yeah,
that's really, was that what you brought into the song?
That was it. Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
I had, we all have troubles, but I'll tell you what, it's a shame what happened to John.
I love that. So yeah, I mean, my interpretation of this story is that something fucky has happened in the local community, and so it is a shame what happened to John. But you know what? Sometimes you got to deal with things in-house.
Sometimes you need a little vigilante justice.
Yeah, as they say. Yeah, I really like, so the part of the structure of this reminded me of, so I'm always really fascinated by song structures or lyrical structures that kind of come back in waves. There was one before this, but the first one that I remember was The Kids Aren't All Right by The Offspring, where it was like, so-and-so has happened to this, so-and-so has happened to this, so-and-so has happened to this. And then Ed Sheeran did one where I think it was Castle on the Hill, where he's just like, my best friend had a motherfucking OD. And like, and this does that. And I love that. This hasn't been done in like 10 years. I haven't heard of something.
I had this idea that like, it's very effective in storytelling to show, say you wanted to like show a character was like very strong or scary. what you might do is you might show a character doing something very, very like badass.
Yeah.
You know, so character A does something very badass and then absolutely cowers in fear in front of character B, who has at this point done nothing, but by character A doing this very cool, like badass thing and then being totally afraid of character B, you have given a lot of information about character B that nothing has happened, right?
Yeah,
it just lets the listener use their imagination. And so that's, or.
Oh, I thought
Did you have an or?
I thought you were going to go into the or.
No.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
And so that was my intention here, was to write a song. The original intention was write a song where I never actually say what happened to John, but by kind of like talking about all these other terrible things that have happened, it just lets the listener use their imagination of like what could be worse happened, what happened to John.
He went to Mars.
He went to Mars. His movie flopped. And that was the original idea for the song. That was like what happened to John, right? But then as I was sitting down to write this, I was like, I've kind of done the ambiguous ending thing a bunch, and that wasn't interesting to me anymore. So what if I kind of twist the phrase of like why I keep saying it's a shame what happened to John, of kind of making it at the end, everybody in this town knows exactly what happened to John, but the official party line needs to be,
It's real shame.
Real shame. It'd be a real shame if something happened to you, John.
Oh, no. Really, really like this. I do want to say, though, there is no amount of preparatory work that you can put in the song and out with the song to stop people asking you at the Q&As, what happened to John?
Yeah.
So wait, is it John Carter? Like, is that his name? Oh, right, so you're talking to Mrs. Carter, it's a shame what happened to John. I thought you were like...
No, this isn't about famous Disney flop John Carter.
You've got a Mrs. Carter talking about her husband.
Yeah. So she's talking about her husband, and she's saying, here's all these problems he has. Any day now, I'm going to have to bail him out. I'm going to have to bury him. But when I'm praying about another. It's a shame what happened to John.
Right. Okay. I see what you mean. I did miss that. I thought it was like John Carter.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up in that verse, like, here's all my problems. Everything's shitty. It's terrible. But when I go to church, the person I'm praying about, it's a shame what happened to John. You
have to understand that, like, I am like a Netflix focus group, like I am, they go through it and they're just like, we need to find the fucking 20 dumbest motherfuckers in the entire world, show them this movie and see if they can make sense of it. And I would be on that focus group. Cool. Another couple of bangers. That's our sign off. End of episode. Another couple of bangers. Yeah. Get in touch with us. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to ask Bug what did happen to John, you can send Bug a message at bug@jammechanics.com. If you want to send me a message going, tee hee hee, I just asked Bug what happened to John, you can send a message to me at tnc@jammechanics.com. If you want to email both of us, hello@jammechanics.com.
If you want these songs, if you want to know what happened to John, if you want to know... No, I'm not gonna... If you want these songs... If you like these songs...
We're not editing this. That's fantastic. Oh, those podcast fuck.
What?
Those podcast masterclasses really paid off.
If you want either of these songs because you liked them, you can go to our website, www.jammechanics.com, or our Bandcamp, jammechanics.bandcamp.com, and you can download them. They are pay what you want, so they can be free. If you want that, if you want to support Matt and I, you can also throw in some dollars there, and we would love that. When you hear this, there's a great chance that we are on tour or about to be on tour. Go check those dates at bughunterbug.com. We're playing Jam Mechanics material at the shows. Not a lot of it, but we are definitely carving out part of our show to play Jam Mechanics stuff. So if you're a fan of our show, fan of our songs, come to a show. It's going to be really fun.
You will definitely hear some Jam Mechanics songs that we have never played live. And we're going to sign off using our traditional sign-off.
Our traditional sign-off we do every week.
Am I doing the first word?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming along. We have been the Jam Mechanics boys, and we are going to ask you to remember, fossil
fuel
will
never
run
out. Hey, thanks for coming to our podcast. Matt died. My name is Bug. We're the Jam Mechanics. And remember, Fossil fuel.
Wait. Oh my god, I actually just fell asleep. I actually just fell asleep, or maybe I had a fucking seizure. I don't know what just happened there.
Are you okay?
But I literally just for like 10 or 15 seconds there was completely not in my fucking body. That was really fucking weird.
I made a joke that you died.
That was deeply unpleasant. You know what it was, actually? You know what it was? Okay, no, it's because when we made the fossil fuels joke, I laughed so hard I got dizzy, and I think I legit passed out.
Serendipity pop, stopping all my problems, hitting on top from a song with this just right. Serendipity pop, stopping all my problems, a right place, right song, right on, right time.